Hey, welcome to our flow today. Gonna be a little less flow-like. We're gonna have some more, more like, it's like a half a flow kind of mix today. There's a little bit of the upfronts, breaking down some alignment and getting into some deep stretching, and then we're gonna build a little bit of flow into it just to get you guys moving towards the end. We're focusing today on upper body and upper body openness. I particularly have a very tight shoulders and neck. So even as you see me do some of these poses, a lot of you might find that you can take them even way deeper than I can. But I am choosing this because just right now we are holding a lot of tension in our bodies. It's a little bit of a heightened stress time. Tension for a lot of us goes into our necks and our shoulders. And just because of the way a lot of us work and being in front of a computer all the time, we're like hunched and we just roll like that. And another reason why, just from an evolutionary standpoint and understanding why we hold stress in our shoulders, is because in like the fight or flight mode, when we go to protect, we want to protect like our reptilian brain is triggered to protect our vital organs, which are housed mostly in the front of our body. So when we're stressed or when we feel threatened, we naturally just draw this way and hunch. And we want to balance that out. For me in my practice, when I came to yoga, I have come to realize that I put a lot of years of focus into lower body alignment, lower body strength building, and as well as softening. And in doing so, I wasn't paying too much attention to what was going on in the upper body. And I feel like even sometimes when I was working so hard into some of the poses in the lower half of my body, I actually allowed that tension to even creep up into my neck. So those are some of the things that we're gonna break down from an alignment standpoint today. So what you will need, if you have them, is 2 blocks and a strap.
For your bathrobe.
If you don't have a strap and blocks at home, you can use something strap-like. A bathrobe belt is perfect. A belt of any kind in your closet is actually perfect. And then maybe a blanket or a towel and a little pillow. So we're going to start off by actually centering and just coming into supine supported Baddha Konasana, which is what really we have these blocks for. So what the setup will look like, if you're using blocks, you're gonna have one this way and then one this way. I would say go height lower than your block. Your head's ultimately gonna be on this. Your shoulder blades will come onto this. If you're working with a towel or blanket, fold your blanket lengthways, and then once you get it nice and narrow, fold it over again, depending on how long it is. I have a pretty long one. If it's not long, you might just want to do it one time. And then you're gonna give it a little roll. And how big your roll is kind of depends on how much you want to open up your chest here. So if you have a pretty bendy back, you can get a bigger roll, but you also don't want to go too wide. So this is where I would stop for it. So I'm gonna set this up for Anna. So essentially the block lengthwise, or your little blanket, is going to go between your shoulder blades. Riley wants the blanket, and then I'm going to use the pillow for her head. Now if you really want to go deep early into this and you have an open back, you can even ditch the support behind the head. So you'll come to sit down, Baddha Konasana, legs, feet together. And then you're just going to scoot yourself up till you get to that point when you lay back. You are draping your back over, and then the head comes to rest on your block, onto that pillow. Again, you can play with heights. If you're really tight across the chest, you might have to have it, that head block or support, whatever it is, much higher up. You might need multiple pillows Just take a minute, get yourself there. And this is just a really nice way to start the practice and relax here. So we talked a lot about so far the physical opening of the front of the chest. But what helps to open the front of the chest is the support and the strength of the back body. And right now, with the support of the blocks, and giving that extra support, the muscles feel safe enough to open and spread. And when I think about the analogy of the physical and how the physical body works in this way, with using the strength of the back body to support you leading the heart forward, when I translate that into things, and just like lessons in my life, in planning this class, I was also having this dialogue with myself and this conversation about stories of my past. And specifically, I was thinking about relationships in my 20s and dating and the type of kind of scenarios I consistently found myself in. And that is something that we often hear. We hear about, like, leave the past in the past and focus on the present. Well, that is surely true, because if we attach ourselves to the past and we continually bring our past into the present, we'll keep repeating the same patterns, and we are actually closing ourselves off the same way. When you punch forward, you close the front of your body. So when you bring your past forward, you close yourself off to the possibility of something new. But at the same time, you have to stay and still have some connection to the past, because the connection to the past is also what teaches you lessons to learn from, so that you can move forward in a more decisive way, in a more informed way, so you can learn from those lessons. So it's the strength of the past that you bring with you in a supportive way to open you up to more possibilities in the future. We're going to start to come out of this pose now. We've allowed the front of our bodies to have some time to open up in a supportive way. As you start to come out, just place the hands down, walking yourself up, pressing yourself up, and just move your props off to the side. Make sure your belt is nearby. That will be one of the first things we go. So with feet down in front of you, we're going to come into reverse tabletop. Place the hands down. We're going to start with fingertips pointing forward. And as you inhale, you're going to lift the hips up. And right away for me here, I already feel the stretch just doing nothing. You want to make sure you're supporting the belly up. So engage the belly button back. Lengthen your seat towards your heels to tuck the tailbone under. And even here now, if you want, you can start to bring movement, rocking the hips towards the heels. Inhale and exhale, rocking back and forth. And wherever you find maybe a sticky spot, maybe you stop there, you roll in circles. Just be in tune with yourself and your body and what it needs here. And maybe you bring the seat down, flip the hands. Flipping the fingertips back, I find to be even more challenging. So if it was already sticky enough with the fingertips going forward, you can continue in that route. Make this your practice. Make this about your body. All right, and finishing up here, bring the seat down. Maybe shake it out. Alright, and we'll come up onto our knees. And as I come up onto our knees here, we're just going to give ourselves some neck love. So extend your right hand out to the side, palm facing flat. Turn your gaze over to the right. And then you're going to take your right hand and you're going to brush it back like you're slicking your hair back. And you're going to bring your hand right under this bulbous area where my ponytail is, essentially. And you're going to resist your head back into the palm of your hand. Now, keeping this may be enough. You should be feeling the stretch across the right shoulder. Now you're going to take the left hand out to the side, palm facing forward. You'll lift that arm up, bend the elbow, drop that left hand down the back. And then notice as I do that, if I bring the elbow in, for me, because I'm tighter, my shoulder lifts up towards my ear. We're trying to stretch that side of the neck out. So if you're tighter and you bring that elbow out wider and you keep it a little bit further down and not so high up, that's going to give you more space. Then keep resisting your head back into that right palm. Take a breath or two more here. And as you exhale, undo the arms, and we'll go to the other side. So this time, left arm comes out straight, palm facing forward, gaze over the left shoulder. Take that left hand, slick it back, grab the back of your head. And right palm comes out, hand flips up, elbow bends. And you can see my right shoulder pop up. I'm going to widen that elbow, bring it down a little bit, and give space. And now I get that stretch through the trapezius muscle, through the right side of the neck. All of this area that we're usually tensing up into. And even if we're not, we just don't show it enough love usually. So we're going to create a lot of space here today. Then unwind with an exhale. All right. We'll come forward onto our hands and knees. So as we come into our hands and knees here, I just want to cue a little bit of alignment. So we'll be finding ourselves weight bearing and putting, drawing our connection into our shoulder. Because again, connection and strength in the back body is going to help to open up the chest. So we want to make sure that's strong, especially as we're weight bearing on our hands in different poses today. So as we find ourselves in tabletop, notice this nice stack of shoulder over elbow over wrist. In addition to that, I have the eye of my elbow pointing straight forward. So for you, it's pointing straight towards the front of your mat. And in doing that, it draws my shoulder blades onto my back so that I'm not rounding forward like so. So this rotation of the tricep, the back of the arm, back, brings the eye of the elbow forward and the shoulder blade moves more firmly onto the back, giving your body the support to open up the chest. And that's where our attention is today. So from here, we're just going to work through now taking our hips back as we're going into child's pose. Toes are tucked under if they're not already. And as we come back into this child's pose, keep that same foundation in the arms. Notice if in the transition, the eye of the elbow start to spin in. Lift it back up. See as I lift it back up, my arm bones lift up towards the ceiling. We want to keep that. So arm bones stay lifted up. This is an active child's pose. Good. Arm bones lift. Heart melts down towards the mat so that we're able to soften our chest from the support of our back body. From here, we're going to lift the knees. So we're going to find a bent knee down dog. Nothing has changed in the arms. Good. With bent knees, we'll be able to get more focus and attention to the upper body. So we're just shifting the attention in our classic poses today from lower body to really a lot of focus in the upper. As you inhale, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, pump your heart towards your thighs without letting anything change in the legs or the arms. Inhale, maybe you rock forward. Exhale, can you pump the heart back? Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. So you're not moving your hips. The movement's purely coming from the upper body. See the difference there? This is me rocking on my feet versus me using the shoulder blade movement to guide the chest forward and towards my knees. Good. Keep the chest back. Keep the arm bones lifted. Straighten the legs. Find your first down dog. If you need to, go ahead and pedal out one leg or the other. Good. And then on your next inhale, walk the feet forward to the front of your mat. Find a forward fold. It's the beginning of class, so if hamstrings are tight, bend the knees. Again, we don't want tension in the upper back. We don't want rounding forward through the low upper back. You need to, you bend your knees. Everybody's going to take their hands to class and come, again, behind the base of the skull, right where your ponytail is if you had one. And you're going to use your hands here. You're letting the neck, the upper body relax, and just allow the hands to just give a little bit of traction and length to the back of the neck. So like you're trying to just push gently, nudge the forehead towards you. But again, this is more just a nudge from gravity, not you really pulling. One more full breath here. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, take them out to the side. Press through the feet, come all the way up. Good, exhale, release the hands out to the side. All right, so now you'll find yourself in Tadasana. In Tadasana pose, we're gonna take what's called an S grip, which looks like this. So we're gonna start, though, with the S grip, with you grabbing with your right hand on top. So your right hand on top, that will look like this. And then I'll switch. All right, so with right hand on top, pin the shoulder back. Keep the belly firming in. Resist the urge to let this whole thing happen, this whole pop out of the rib cage. You want to keep everything drawing back as we do this and firm through the midline. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to drop your right ear over towards your right shoulder. And notice how, even as I start to drop my ear over, for me, I'm so tight, my right shoulder wants to draw forward. Keep that pinning back. Maybe it means that you can't take the ear as far. You should feel this stretch across the head of that right shoulder, across the front of the chest, all into this area right here. I'm going to inhale, come back to center. As first, you got to switch your S hook. So right now, we're going to take it to the left side, so the left hand's going to be on top. Inhale, draw the belly back, lengthen the tailbone. Exhale, drop the left ear over towards the left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release the hands. Shake it out. All right. From here, we'll inhale, take the arms up overhead. Good. Exhale, bring the hands to clasp behind back. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, fold. As we fold here, again, if you need to bring a softness to the knees because the hamstrings are tight, do so, or even consider bringing the feet a little bit wider. Make sure you're not locking out the elbows. Everyone bring a small bend to the elbows. Squeeze the biceps and then start to re-straighten the arms, bringing them towards straighter and not a hyperextension. And you should be still feeling this in the front of the chest. Let the neck relax. Use the breath. Hug the shoulder blades towards one another. And as you strengthen the back body, feel the chest open up and stretch. Feel the neck lengthen down. Inhale, come all the way up as you press through the feet. Shake it out. So as you come up, hand still clasp. Inhale. Exhale, drop your right ear over towards your right shoulder. As you do this, drive your left knuckles down towards the floor. Get more of a stretch through the left side of that neck. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, drop your left ear over towards your left shoulder. Drive the right knuckles down towards the floor. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release the hands. We'll do that one more time going through the other side. Just kind of like, I don't know, this is like a swimmer's stretch, I feel like. Just give it some movement in the shoulders here. If you were Michael Phelps, you could like fully wrap and hug yourself, but I don't have that type of wingspan. Maybe Anna does. All right, inhale, take them up. Exhale, when you go to class this time, take the opposite class. So that whatever your dominant one was, the one you went for, it's going to be the opposite of that. And then again, we inhale, look up, exhale, fold. Even here, let's just check into the legs. Shift your weight back into your heels a little bit so that the knees are stacked directly over the ankles. Weights equal in all four corners of the feet. Keep the belly strong, not allowing the belly just collapse down onto the tops of the thighs. And one more breath here. And as you inhale, rise back up. Inhale, lift the heart up towards center, little back bend as you drive the knuckles down towards the floor. Inhale, bring the chin forward. Exhale, drop the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Drive the left knuckle tips down towards the floor. Get more of a stretch through that left side of the neck. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Left ear to left shoulder. Right knuckles driving down. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release and shake it out. All right, so here, if you have a block, use it. If you don't really worry about it. You're gonna put that block in between your legs. We're just using it here just to keep the legs active. So feet are gonna be parallel. That's your Tadasana, parallel feet. Engage into the block, so you're squeezing and hugging your block so that you get power in the legs. The power in the legs is also going to create freedom in the upper body. Once you feel stable in every other aspect of your body, that's where, when you allow the mind to let the body know that it's safe enough to open. So we hug into our block here. And then we're gonna work arms straight out in front of you. So let Anna be the side profile of this, and I'm gonna stand facing forward. And right away, plug the arm bones in. So think about when we were on all four tabletops, spin the eye of the elbow up towards the ceiling. Arm bones plugged in. Belly hugs back. Strong here. This is plank pose. Lengthen the tailbone down towards the floor. Hug the block with your inner thighs. You feel the outer hips engage. Everything is that strong and stable. Inhale. As you exhale, bend the elbows in. Squeezing the shoulder blades towards one another. This is chaturanga. Pause halfway. So notice my hands are still kind of out in front of me. I have about another, 10 inches before they come into the sides of my chest. This is half chaturanga. You feel the shoulder blades onto the back. Notice that if you look, your shoulders and your elbows are in an equal plane here. You wouldn't have your elbows just popping up behind you and your shoulders dipping down. So here, this is what we're looking for when we come into chaturanga. Now pull the hands further in. We're all the way down. Now inhale, press down with the hands as we move towards this standing up dog or cobra variation. Notice shoulders move away from the ears. What's not happening is this where we're blocking our neck, we're blocking and we're bringing our shoulders up. Notice here as we push the floor away, shoulder blades move down to the back to get the arms towards straight. All right, so we're gonna remove our block if you have it. We're gonna come onto all fours. And we're gonna work that from all fours. So here, inhale, plug the arm bones in, eye of the elbow pointing forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. As I bend the elbows, notice my top of my arm bones aren't dropping down like this. They're up, they're in line with my elbows. Inhale, come all the way down, pause. Hands should be in line with the chest. Shoulders are still moving up. Shoulder blades move towards one another. Hug them as if you're trying to squeeze a penny in between them. Press the floor away, keeping the shoulders moving down the back. If you start to come up and you feel like you want to get straight arms, so the shoulders lift like this, no good. That's not going to help your neck and shoulder situation at all. If that's happening, lower back down, re-engage the shoulder blades onto the back, and then inhale, come up. But maybe it's not going to be as happy. And that can look different from day to day. Exhale, release. Inhale, press the floor away, come back up. We're going to do that one more time. Option to explore taking that through full plank chaturanga. As you do this though, be honest with yourself. If you come into full plank and this starts happening because the strength isn't there yet, you're trashing your shoulders. You're not going to gain the strength in the back of the body. And ultimately, gaining the strength from the back of the body is what's going to move you forward in your practice, just like the strength that you gain from your past moves you forward in life. So here, we keep the shoulders back. Again, if you want to progress, Regu's blocking the view, so I could cheat here, but I'm not going to cheat myself. So exhale, lower, bend the elbows, come all the way down. Full chaturanga. Inhale, press the floor away, shoulders moving down the back. Butt engaged, all sides. Inhale, exhale, release. Exhale, take. Press the floor away, come back up to your tabletop. All right, so we're gonna show here, as we get further the practice, we're going to move into full Vashisthasana, but I wanna take a moment right now to just pause and show some alignment in it. So coming onto your right hand first, you're gonna roll to the outer edge. You're gonna roll to the outer blooper. So from tabletop, we're gonna move into the Vashisthasana modification. So bring your left foot forward to the front of your mat. You're gonna press down into your left foot, roll to the outer edge of your right foot, weights into the right hand. So this is what modified Vashisthasana is gonna look like. Notice the eye of my elbow is pointing forward. I'm gonna get out of it for a second and use Anna so you can see the alignment. The eye of her elbow moves forward. Anna, as you see as she does that, the shoulder blade moves onto her back here. Anna, undo that support. Notice that shoulder just went way far forward and all the weight's dumping there. Now reconnect the strength of the back body. This shoulder blade, this is a much bigger muscle here. So really, ultimately, you want your lats, your rhomboids to engage to support the shoulder. That way you're not dumping weight into a joint that's fragile, but you're also allowing the support from the back to create an opening across the chest and the top of the shoulder blade. So from there, we're on your right side. We're gonna come back to center, back to your tabletop, and move to the left side. So this time, bringing your right foot forward, left foot behind you, weight shifts into the left hand, eye of the elbow, so you wrap your tricep back, you pull the left shoulder blade onto the back. Good, and you find yourself in Vashi. Now let's talk about the lower body here. The more you extend out through that left foot, the higher the hips are gonna lift. Same thing, in modified Vashi here, the more you press through that bottom foot, the more the hips lift. The more the hips lift, the easier this pose becomes. Exhale, come back to tabletop. And then inhale, look forward, exhale. Take the hips back, toes tucked under, find that child's pose. Good, inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, lift the knees, bent knee down dog. Let's take 5 pumps, flowing with your breath, just pumping the heart back, keeping the arm bones lifted. With each breath, trying to move the chest closer to the thighs. And on that last one, stay with the chest pressing back, extend legs, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up the right leg. Exhale, bring the right knee forward through to the nose. Drop that right foot down, bring the left knee down. And inhale, we're gonna come up here into, I don't know what we're doing. We're going up, hands behind. Okay. Come up, bring the hands to clasp behind. So we come into low lunge. I'm going to make it easier for you to place something up. From your low lunge, inhale, come up, bring the hands to clasp behind the back. Hard up. Here, we're in this low lunge, but we want to soften into our groins. This is one of the few lunge-like poses that you can actually allow the knee to come past the ankle if you want. But at first, we're going to lift up. So we're going to use our inhale, lift the heart up by squeezing the shoulder blades together. Use the engagement of the biceps to activate all the way up through and into the shoulders. Then inhale, lift up, keep the lift in the heart, and then exhale, soften the groin. Inhale, lift the heart, exhale, soften. One more, inhale, lift, exhale, soften. Good, release the hands. Take the left hand down, heel toe that right foot out. We're gonna find lizard lunge. So right toes are going to spin way out. The focus is in the upper body today. So by spinning the foot way out and opening the knee, you're just allowing this to be a little bit less intense in the hips so that we can really focus on what's going on here. So start to open up the hip here. We're gonna come down onto our left forearm. Maybe both forearms come down. But if both forearms come down and you're finding yourself rounding forward, resist that. Inhale, pull the heart forward by energetically pulling the hands back towards the back edge of your mat. Keep the heart open. And then we're going to try and take this even further into a little bit of the shoulder opener for our right side and a quad stretch. So inhale, draw your left heel in, reach the right arm back, thumb points up to do this. Because the thumb pointing up, if I turn the thumb down, see the shoulder spins forward. Thumb stays up as you reach and clasp the outer edge or the top of that left foot. Again, I like the outer edge because it helps ensure that I'm keeping this right shoulder pinned back. And then I use my foot pressing into my hand. And the more I press my foot into my hand, the more of a shoulder stretch I feel on the front side of that right shoulder. One more breath and exhale, unwind. From here, we're going to move into a forearm Vashisthasana. I like to turn my arm in this way. You can take it this way with parallel to the side edge of your mat. Again, it's a little bit trickier on the shoulder. For a little more support, turn your forearm parallel to the front edge of your mat. Roll to the outer edge of that left foot. And then if you're modifying, the right foot stays down where it is. So if you go to stack the legs and the shoulders popping forward, you're taking that modification. That hand, left hand can come on hip, it You can go straight up above. And we're gonna pulse here for 5, bringing the hips down on an inhale, and exhale, lift up. Inhale, down, exhale, lift. Inhale, down, exhale, lift. Inhale, down, exhale, lift. One more, inhale, down, exhale, lift. We're gonna come into forearm wild thing, dropping that right foot behind us. Ooh, lift up, press through that right foot. I feel a strong stretch through my left shoulder. One more big breath. Exhale, windmill that right forearm down and find yourself in forearm plank. Holding here for 10. Reach the crown of your head forward, press your feet back, draw the belly in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the pelvis down. Keep drawing the shoulder blades back. Sphinx pose. Whew. Maybe you press through the hands and find your way into seal as the arms straighten. Shoulder blades still staying pinned back. You're not just rounding and letting the top of the shoulders round forward. One more breath here. Exhale, place the forearms down. Walk the knees in. Shift the hips back, toes tuck, back to that child's pose. Mid inhale, pick up the knees. Pulse the chest back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold as you lengthen on your exhale out through your heels, finding your down dog. Inhale, lift up the left leg. Exhale, left knee to nose. We're going to the second side. Bring that left foot through. Right knee comes down. Inhale, we lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, we bring into clasp. Remember, take the reverse clasp. We want to keep it even. All right, inhale. Again, you inhale, heart lifts up by shoulder blades, moving towards one another, back body strengthening, rib cage pulling in, belly stays strong. As you exhale, groin soften, chest stays lifted. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. All right, release the clasp. Heel toe that left foot out for lizard lunge. Hips start to come down onto your right forearm. Maybe the left comes down too. Maybe you need to put your block under the forearms for support. And inhale, press through the hands, come back up. You're gonna stay down on that right forearm, possibly moving now into the quad stretch. So left arm reaches out in front of you, thumb pointing up, right heel kicks in, and then you reach. Now notice I have to like drop my left shoulder down at first, but I'm careful not to leave it there. I get the foot, and then I re-engage that left shoulder blade onto my back. I hope that was kind of, tried to make that elaborately clear right there. Forward, back. One more flow on the breath here. Exhale, slowly release that foot. And we're gonna move into forearm bashi. So adjust that right arm as you need to. Bring that left foot forward, roll to the outer edge of the right foot. Maybe the leg stack, maybe that right foot or that left foot stays down. Hand variation, whatever it needs to be. And then we tap for 1, 2, 3, 4, here, we're gonna move into our forearm wild thing. So that right foot drops behind you. Right arm extends out straight. Inhale, lift up, reach through that left foot. One more full breath. And as you exhale, you're gonna bring that left forearm down. Maybe you have to rotate the right forearm to find forearm length. Again, you're lengthening out through the crown of the head, extending out through the feet. We're here for this one for 20. Belly button's drawing back. If you need to bring the knees down at any point, do so. Modify. If you feel that you are starting to tense into the shoulders and this is happening, that's when the knees need to come down and you know you need to take a break. There's a difference between meeting your edge and then surpassing your edge to a point that you then bring yourself out of alignment. It's a fine line, and that's really kind of the yoga that we all practice every day. It's like, where can we show up and test ourselves and take ourselves out of our comfort zone, but without bringing too much stress in that it then becomes disruptive and counterproductive. One more full rounded breath. Good. As you exhale, lower the hips down. Finding Sphinx pose again. Pressing the tops of the feet down. Drawing the navel back. Energetically pull the heels of the hands towards the back of the mat. Inhale, feel the chest broaden and widen. Maybe on your next inhale, the arms straighten. You find seal pose again. And then exhale. Bring the elbows down. Come back to child's pose. This time a relaxed child's pose. Bring the forehead to the floor. Bring your hips to your heels. And just allow yourself to soften and settle down. Noticing any subtle shifts of energy in the body already. I know I can already feel more freedom in between my neck and my shoulders specifically. All right, inhale. Come back up to all fours and find yourself in downward facing dog. And then you're going to inhale, bend the knees. As you exhale, hop, walk yourself forward, whatever it is you need to. Find your forward fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold, just moving through Surya Namaskar. 2 times just to get flowing. Exhale, folding in. Inhale, lengthen. We've broken down the alignment. Exhale, step back to plank. You find your plank. Inhale, exhale, bend the elbows. Remember the focus on the upper body. Notice if the shoulders drop below the elbows. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. And remembering all the points. Back and down dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, hop or walk forward. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Now press through the feet, rise all the way up. Good, exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Place the hands, step back to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Cobra up, down. Exhale, shoulders stay on the back as you move back to down dog. All right, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot comes forward. Finding a high lunge. We're going to take that left heel, keep it lifted. This is also known as a warrior one variation. So for tighter hips, this is a nicer way to practice warrior one. So you can keep the hips nice and square in the front of the room. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up overhead, palms facing forward. As you exhale, bend the elbows out to the side. You're pulling down a bar. You draw the shoulder blades in towards one another. You should feel the whole back body, especially the lats, in between the shoulder blades firing up. Inhaling. Right now we're going to add some leg movement into that. As you exhale and you pull down, bend that back knee. Inhale. Press up. Exhale, bend. If this is really unstable, you can keep the back knee down on the floor the whole time and just work the upper body. 2 more. Last one. We pause up. All right, pausing up. Spin that back heel down. Now, if you want to come into full warrior one, again, know your body. If you need to keep that heel up, do so. Exhale. Take the hands to clasp behind the back. Get that little bend in the elbows to engage the biceps, and then work the arms straight. Keep drawing the outer right hip back. Inhale. As you exhale, fold forward. Pause. It's not quite coming into humble warrior. Draw the navel back towards your spine. Lengthen the crown of the head towards the front of your mat. And on your next inhale, you're going to start to slide that left foot forward. We're coming into warrior 3. Keep a softness to that right knee as you inhale and pick up the left leg. The knuckle points reach towards the back of your mat. Your chest extends forward. Exhale, slowly release the hands. Keep the leg up as it is if you can. Reach that right hand down. Turn the left toes out. Pull the left heel in towards your seat. Draw the left knee in towards your nose. Grab a hold of the left foot with your left hand. Inhale, as you exhale, press that foot, the left foot into your left hand. Same thing when we were in our lunge quad stretch. Use that left foot, resisting back into the hand to open up the left shoulder. Good. One more breath here. You're going to exhale, slowly release the foot. You're going to reach the left hand out, up, overhead, so your biceps in line with your ear. Extend the left arm straight behind you, and as you exhale, bend the knee to elbow and crunch it. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. One more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Bend the right knee. Reach the back of the mat with your left foot. Inhale, come up, warrior 2. Whew. Maybe if you need a little break here, straighten that right leg for a second. Shake, shake, shake. And then exhale, find the depth in your warrior 2 again. Right leg is forward. I'm gonna kind of go the opposite way just so I can face you guys. So in warrior 2, great opportunity here to open up the chest. So notice if you're rounding in the upper body. Inhale, lift the heart up. Move the shoulder blades onto the back. So proud warrior stance here. Good, one more breath here. And as we exhale, we're gonna find Parsvakonasana. Right forearm onto right thigh. Left arm overhead, bicep in line with the ear. Good. From here, one full breath. And as you exhale, you're going to windmill that left hand down. You're going to roll to the outer edge of the left foot. You're going to stop for a second because I need to think of okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from coming out of here, and then I'm going to like have everyone find warrior 2 and then come out of it, and then I'm just going to show it. So people get a break, and then also so I can show it the right way. So I'll start from here. So we were nothing. Okay. So on your last one, you'll reach. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend into the right knee, reach to the back of the mat with your left foot, and inhale, come up, find warrior 2. Get depth, one big breath here, and as you exhale, press through that right foot, straighten it, and just shake and come out of it for a second. I'm going to show you this next transition into Vashi so that we can all see it and get it down before we kind of like flow through it fully on this side and then take it into the other side. So from Warrior 2 here, it's going to look like so. From Warrior 2, the left hand's gonna come down. Left hand comes down. You're setting yourself up for Vashisthasana. So right away, I'm not just like noodle arm. I'm engaging my shoulder onto my back. Tricep wraps back, eye of the elbow forward. I'm gonna roll to the outer edge of my left foot. If I'm taking modified Vashi, you're already there. You just gotta pull that right leg back. Extend, find your Vashi. If you're not taking modified, you're coming into stacked legs and you're here. So it'll be a flow from Warrior 2 into Vashi, back and forth basically. So we'll go from here, hand comes down, you find Vashi. First one we're gonna do reps and pumps here. And then we'll come back and come back up into Warrior 2. All right, let's do it. So let's all meet in our Warrior 2 right side. Big breath, opportunity here to open up the back of the body and the chest. Exhale, get the right thigh parallel with the floor. Close the eyes, inhale, extend the breath, like focus the breath into the left side of your diaphragm and reach out through the left fingertips more. One more breath, inhale, and as you exhale, you're gonna windmill your left hand down. Roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Find Vashi by either stocking the legs or bringing that right foot forward. And now we're gonna pulse. Inhale, exhale. Bring the hips down, inhale up. Sorry, it's exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, two more. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up. All right, should we go for a wild thing? Bring that right foot behind you. Press the hips up. Ooh, this should feel good. The chest for everyone's nice and open. One more big breath. Inhale, exhale, windmill. That right hand down. Bring that right foot forward. Spin the left heel down. Inhale, come back up, Warrior 2. Yes. One more time on this side, minus the Vashisthasana reps. So we'll just go into Vashi, hold for a breath, and then into Wild Thing. All ready? Inhale, exhale, windmill the left hand down. Find Vashi, stack the legs. One full breath at the top, exhale, right foot comes back. Wild Thing. Inhale, bring that right foot forward. Windmill the left heel down and inhale, come up. Warrior 2. Woo. Exhale, windmill the hands down. Step back to plank. Drop into child's pose. Do down dog or vinyasa. Whatever your speed is right now. Come back to down dog. Drop the knees. Everyone in child's pose before we go to the second side. Before we move on to side 2 is always interesting because it gives us a new opportunity for these poses. And you have two options here. You can either use the experience you just had to strengthen your experience in side 2 because you're bringing in more information. You've already done it on one side. So you can bring those lessons that you learned from the first side with you to make potentially the second side a better experience or just a different, more informed experience. Not necessarily better, but more informed. Or you can bring a story of how side 1 went with you. And if you potentially couldn't hit everything on the first side, you could tell yourself that you're not going to be able to do it on the second side. And guess what? If you tell yourself that, That's exactly what's gonna happen. So you have a choice to either use your previous experience to enhance your next experience, or you can also use it to your detriment and continue old patterns that you bring forward. Inhale, come up onto tabletop, bring the hips up and knee meet in dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, left knee forward, nose, drop that left foot down. Warrior one. Okay, all right, sorry.
Lunges.
Yes, it was warrior one. Inhale, bring the left knee forward. Coming up into warrior one modified, also known as a high lunge. All right, exhale, get that left thigh parallel to the floor. We're gonna pull down on that bar again, so we're gonna activate the back body. So on your exhale, with palms facing forward, bend the elbows out to the side. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another. Good, inhale, lengthen. We're gonna add the back knee to it. Again, option, you can stay as you are. You can bring the back knee down for even more support. It's up to you. Inhale, exhale, bend that back knee, maybe. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. One more. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Good, spin the right heel down, maybe going for a full warrior one. Take the outer left hip back. If the hips are just squaring out over to the right, keep that right heel lifted. It will help you keep the hips square to the front of the room. There's no, modifying is not a backup in the poses. Exhale, release the hands, find that clasp to the second side. Again, keep tacking that outer left hip back, widen the right hip. Inhale, hard up, lift. Exhale, sink low into that left thigh. Inhale, hard up, exhale. Nothing changes in the legs as you bring the crown of the head forward. Whew. Low belly draws in and up, especially on that left side. Now we're gonna move into warrior three, so the right heel spins up, it fits down. Inhale, bend into the left leg, drag that right foot forward. On and now pick up the right leg. Roll the outer left hip back. Extend the knuckles to the wall behind you towards the back edge of your mat. Heart pulls forward, crown of the head pulls forward. Good, exhale. Bring that left hand down. Bend the right knee. Right knee pulls forward as you grab a hold of the foot with your right hand. Pull, bring that right knee back, and then fling your right foot into the right hand. The more I press back with the foot, the more of a stretch I'm giving myself through that right shoulder. And then you take breaks as you need them, fall out of it, meet your edge. We're gonna inhale, lengthen the arm, lengthen the leg, and then we're gonna find those crunches. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Two more. Whew. Oh, last one. Lengthen. Bend into that left knee. Reach with the right foot. Inhale. Up. Warrior two. Whew. And straighten that leg. All right, give yourself a break. Bend back into it. Find warrior two. Again, get the left thigh parallel. No excuses, we gave it its little break. Get it parallel. Close the eyes for a second. Deep inhale through the nose. feel yourself draw the attention into like the right side of the rib cage even more, so that back side of the body. And more length there, we tend to collapse it and kind of tilt forward with our torso in warrior two. So reach out through the right fingertips as much as the left. One more breath here. All right, so now we're moving into our Vashi flow. So exhale, windmill, that right hand down. Roll to the outer edge of that right foot. Make sure that right arm is strong and stable. Find your Vashisthasana. And here, for this first one, we pulse. Good, exhale, lift, inhale down. Exhale, lift, inhale down. Exhale, lift, inhale down. Exhale, lift, inhale down. Exhale, left. Last one, inhale down. Exhale, lift, reach at the top. Find wild thing. Take that left foot behind you. Reach out through the left hand. That right shoulder blade is stabilized onto the back. One more breath. Exhale. Take that left foot forward. Spin the right heel down. Inhale, come up. Warrior two. One last time. Inhale, exhale. Left. Right hand comes down. Spin to the outer edge of that right foot. Find Vashi. Inhale at the top. Exhale, take the left foot behind you. Find your wild thing. Inhale. Exhale, left knee draws in and up. Windmill the hands up. Warrior two. Right side. One big breath. Exhale. Windmill the hands down. Move through vinyasa. Chill in child's pose or down dog. Whatever is your thing. All right. We're gonna drop those knees down. We're gonna end it with a couple back bends and a shavasana. So we're almost through, but you should feel a different experience in your back bends today, especially because we spent so much time opening up the front of your chest. So hopefully you find them just a little bit easier to access than possibly you usually do. We're going to start with Ustrasana here. So coming up onto your knees, toes can be tucked under or feet can be flat if you're going for a deeper back bend. Feet are flat. If you don't really know where you lie in this whole thing, I would recommend starting the first one with the toes tucked under. So engage the butt, squeeze the butt, lengthen the tail towards the seat. Rib cage moves back. Again here, the shoulder blades are moving towards one another. Keep the palms facing forward. This kind of helps give that extreme external rotation of the upper arm that brings the shoulder blades back. Inhale, as you exhale, start to lean back, keeping the butt engaged. So you lean back, the pelvis is coming with you. So you're not dumping into your low back. Everything's moving back. As you move back, this helps get your hands to your heels. And then once you have the heels, squeeze the outer seat. Bring the heart by pressing your hands into your heels. Lift the heart up and forward. See how I can talk clearly here? So you're not dropping the neck back like this. The head is engaged. You're finding length through the neck. One more breath here. As you come out of it, inhale, lift from the heart. Come all the way back up. Take a breath, close the eyes. And when you're ready, we'll do one more. Again, palms face forward. Inhale, hug the shoulder blades onto the back, engage the seat, lean back. Bring the hips back with the torso. Find the heels. Press your hands into your heels, broaden the chest, lifting it up. So the movement's from the upper back and it's not coming from the lower back here. One more breath here. Inhale, lead with the heart as you come up. And exhale, we'll come down onto our seat. So we'll all start here with a bridge pose, and then you'll have the option to either take it into Urdhva Dhanurasana or continue on with bridge. So as you set yourself up here, feet are flat. Right away, inhale. As you exhale, broaden the shoulders, widen the collarbones, roll the shoulders under the body. Press through the feet, the back of the head presses into the floor. What you shouldn't feel is the curve of the neck flattening down. If that's the case, make sure you lift the chin a little bit higher and really get onto that right the middle of the skull and the back of the head is where you're aiming to press your weight into. And then even here, roll the weight from side to side, maybe drawing the shoulders even further under the back, palms facing back. Then press through the feet. Think about lengthening the knees towards the front of your mat as you lift the hips up. Exhale, lower the seat down. We're going to come up into bridge again. And this time I'm going to guide you from bridge into Urdhva. But again, this is only an option, so feel free to stay in Urdhva Dhanurasana and play with any variations you like there, lifting one leg at a time, coming up on to tippy toes, whatever it is that you want to play with today. And when we're ready, everyone inhale. Press through the feet, lengthen the kneecaps towards the front of your mat. Good, so you're either in bridge now, or hips stay lifted, and you bend the elbows and you place the hands to either side of the shoulders. Here, if you go a little bit wider, that's going to give you more space and room. If you're tighter, but most of us from our practice was today will find that we're a little more open than usual. Inhale, press through the hands into the crown of your head. Right away, make sure the elbows haven't started to splay out. If they have, re-engage the elbows towards one another. This will help bring the shoulder blades onto the back. Rock to the crown of your head. Pump your heart towards the front edge of your mat. Inhale, press through the hands to come to straightened arms, finding your full Urdhva Dhanurasana pose. Pump the heart towards the front edge of your mat. And you'll feel that stretch across the chest. One more breath. Exhale, bend the elbows, come all the way down. All right, one last back bend. Dealer's choice. So whatever you're into, whether you want to come into bridge, find your wheel from there, just hang in bridge, or if you're just going to come right into wheel, go for it. So as you're ready, set yourself up. You come to the top of your head, use that pause, make sure the shoulder blades are engaged on the back. Rock the chest forward and then press out through the hands on an inhale. When you get to the top, when you've arrived, worked it even more. Pump the heart forward to the front of the mat. Maybe the heels walk in. Can you pump the heart again a little bit more? One more full breath and then exhale. Come down. Draw the knees in. Give yourself a little hug. Bring the hands out to feel full arms. Inhale, and as you exhale, drop the knees over to the right hand side. Keeping the left shoulder pinned down on the mat. So if bringing your knees down first to the floor means the left shoulder popping up, resist that. Keep the feet engaged and lift it instead, or bring the feet down. Inhale deeply. Fill the left side of the rib cage with the breath. Bring the focus in the breath direction there. Tacking that whole left side down. expanding the twist. Next, inhale, bring the knees back through center. Maybe you gotta shift the hips. 3, connect at the center. Inhale deeply, and then as you exhale, drop the knees over to the left-hand side. Again, inhaling deeply, focusing the breath more into the right side of the rib cage here. Tacking that right upper body, the shoulder blade, the whole shoulder blade area down into the floor, down into your mat. And then inhale, come back to center. Grab a hold of your knees, rock up. Finding Dandasana. So one little forward fold here, one more. Gonna just incorporate that traditional Dandasana with a shoulder opener. So legs are straight out in front of you. Again, low back tightness here. You may need to use a blanket roll or a pillow to lift the hips up so that you can sit straighter. If you find you can barely sit in this pose and the legs are popping up and you're rounding forward, that's when you know you need to prop yourself up. So the inner thighs are moving in and down, tops of the legs are connected onto the floor. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. Exhale, take them out to the side and find a clasp. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Release the hands. Bring them out in front of you. Grabbing your feet. Maybe it's just your shins. Maybe you're high up here. Again, important thing is that you're not rounding out to do so and closing the heart off. We're staying open here. Even as we dive forward and we move forward, we're doing it with receptivity. Taking one final breath here. Inhale, climbing yourself back up. Removing your little bolster if you have one, cushion, and then finding your way on your back for Shavasana. Just letting everything open up and sink down. more awareness back to the breath. Bringing in attention to both sides of the breath. Allowing the exhalation to be just as long as the inhalation. As we come back to the body with our breath, we'll start to make small movements. Whether that's wiggling the fingers, the toes, maybe rolling out the ankles, the wrist. And on your next deep inhale, send the arms up overhead, giving yourself one last long full body stretch here. And as you exhale, draw the knees into your chest, grab a hold of your shins, and give yourself a little hug. Rocking from side to side or back and forth. And eventually you'll roll yourself over to your right hand side, keeping the eyes closed and pausing here for a full breath. Before using the hands to press yourself back up. Finding a comfortable seat for us to close out the class together. Just remembering and bringing with you today just that intention of just noticing when we close ourselves off. And in that attention and notice to when we do that, when you find yourself doing that, ask yourself why. Like, just be like, I see myself. You know, you'll feel it in just your body when you walk into a new situation, whether you retract into yourself or if you are leading into it completely open. And if you find yourself retracting, just ask, pause, what is it that's making me shy away? Is it some type of story? Are you using the example of just going to a party? Like, if you tell yourself that you're shy and that you aren't good at socializing and you don't like networking, then that's what you're bringing with you. And it's making you close off. So I invite you to question yourself when you find yourself doing these things, when you find yourself closing yourself off as you enter new situations, to question and bring that awareness with you so that you can bring a new story, so that you can use your past as a tool to open you up to all of the possibilities, all of your possibilities of the future. We'll close the class together with one final Om. Inhaling deeply through the nose. Exhaling fully through the mouth. Inhaling deeply through the nose. The light inside of me bows